you can maybe start again and tell us a bit about lessons from our grandma's table, and then you also mentioned how you had affirmations after each chapter.
Yes. So, like I was saying, I entitled the book Lessons from My Grandma's Table. It's a collection of life defining moments that I've had in my own life where, things have happened that have shaped the way I view the world or shaped the way I interact with people and how I interact with humanity as a whole, such as the first chapter. It's called Do Right by People. And one of the lessons that my grandmother always impressed upon me ever since I was little was do right by people no matter how they treat you, right? And so didn't matter how someone is coming across, always remember another person's humanity and always operate with empathy with those people. And so what I do is I take moments like that and I tell each story and add these affirmations and life lessons at the end to be able to help people not only I'm sharing my story, and the story is very conversational. I want it to be like you're sitting around talking to your cousin or your aunt or your best friend on the porch or in the den or wherever. And so it's very conversational. There's a bit of laughter, there's a bit of, joy and things of that nature. But I want people to not read my story, but I want you to be able to relate it to your own story in your own life. What are those life defining moments that have made you a better person? And so after each story, I offer affirmations or life lessons that can help guide people in being able to look at their own life story to pull the lessons to make them better. Because sometimes things can happen in our life that can make us bitter, and we operate from this limited space of feeling pain. And I don't think we really get the fullness our own humanity or being able to experience other people when we operate in that vein.
Sometimes, do you think that operating in pain is actually comfortable because we don't know how to get out of it, or we don't know what it's like to not live in pain?
Absolutely. So much so that sometimes, if you think about it, if a person broke their arm or broke their foot or something like that, you adjust to being in the sling or you adjust to being on the crutches. And even when you get off of those things and you're supposedly healed, you still might have a limp, or you may favor that particular limb that was once broken, right? And over time, a doctor will say, well, you're healed. You can operate at full motion. You can do the things that you used to do without being limited. You have full range of motion to do as you please. And because we are remembering the pain of the thing, we will limit ourselves and how far I'll let it go out and how much I trust it. And I think that puts us in a space of life of limiting ourselves from what I like to call the abundance of life, right? Like, experiencing love, experiencing joy, experiencing peace. And we limit ourselves so much so that a person may get to the end of their life and they never really had a rich, full, abundant life because they limited themselves because of the pain that they were feeling.
Mm. But playing devil's advocate, which I like to do when I have these types of interviews, is it's easy to say. It's easy for you because you have it all together, and now you're telling me while I'm trying to work through my own mess that I can live free, or I can get out of it. But it's easier said than done. Now, do you have? I see you have the copy of the book right behind you. Can you hold it up so we can see?
Absolutely. All right.
Is that a paper? Is that a hardback or a paperback?
So this is a hardback. It was actually gifted to me by a friend in a hardback, but my book does come in paperback.
Okay. Now, what about have you done audio or ebook as well?
I do have ebook. I do not have audio. That's something that I was actually thinking about last week. I was like, man, I should probably do audio. That would probably be cool. But I do have my book can be found on ebook, in ebook format as well for readers.
Okay, that is awesome. That my goal this year is to turn my books into audiobooks. because you can find an entirely new audience with audiobooks. And if you're anything like
Yes.
me, who sometimes I'm in the middle of editing, I'm always editing. I'm editing a book today. So I'm
Mm,
editing. I have a full-time job. A lot of times I don't have time to just sit and open a book. So I love listening to audiobooks. I listen to audiobooks
yeah,
while I'm exercising, when I go on a drive, and you just never know who you're going to be able to touch if you can get that audio.
absolutely. Yeah. And I thought about it because I've always been, I'm a visual learner and I'm also a connect learner. So it's like hands on and I want to see a thing, right? And so for a long time, I was like, from the audio space, I'm like, I'm not really an audio learner. So like, I don't know like how that would work. But then a few years ago, I got into listening to podcasts and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
I could do that. Like I could see how someone can learn from this space. So
Well, Crystal, I really enjoyed our conversation, and I thank you
absolutely.
for all of the rules that you dropped along the way. If you can just hold up your book one more time and then
Oh,
remind
absolutely.
us where you can find your book.
You can find my book on my website, and that's www.crystaltash.com. It's www.crystaltash.com, or you can go directly to that link, which is up crystaltashbooks.com, crystaltashbooks.com. But there's a link
One,
to that website as well on my website.
okay. And now, if people want to book you for speaking engagements, how can they find you? Same
Absolutely. They can
place?
go to my website, which is, yes, crystaltash.com. They can go to my website and click on the link that says speaker. And at the bottom, it'll show you how to tap in to get me to come out and speak to you and your organization or your group or your institution, whatever you may have.
Wonderful. Well, once again, thank you, Crystal. I enjoyed our conversation. I wish you all the best. And if you ever want to come back to the show, all you have to do is say the word.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I've definitely enjoyed having a conversation with you, Dr. Rhonda. Thank you so much for opening your platform up to authors such as myself who may not ever, get a chance to share their message with other people, but be able to have conversations like this mean the world.
Oh, thank you. That's what this platform is all about, and I consider it a service for so many independent authors who are trying to build their platforms, and that's the reason. That's the reason why I did it, because I knew what it was like when I first started writing and trying to get out there and trying to get exposure for my books. So if I have the opportunity to help somebody else, I'm going to continue to pay it forward. So thank you for recognizing that and acknowledging that.
Absolutely.
All right.
Oh,
Oh,
absolutely. Thank you so much.
thank you. Have a great night.
Same to you.